Why, hello there everyone. I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. Minasan, konbanwa, Yoshong Nishido, and today we're going to be showing some Molts updates and focusing on growth in this video. So these two tarantulas here are the Tliltocatl albopilosus Nicaragua, also known as the Nicaraguan curly hair tarantula. And it's kind of strange because I've shown these females already in like the past couple of videos, but I promise you these are different specimens, which is why I'm showing two of these at once. It seems like all of my females are molting in unison. And for those who are wondering, I have 12 or actually 13 females of curly hair tarantulas, and all of them are adults. So all of these here are subadults to adults. They're about 4.5 to 5 inches in leg span, definitely mature females, but I'm not planning to breed these. These are more so of pets that I produced as slings a very long time ago that I kept. So yeah, these are pets, not necessarily future breeders, and it's honestly been a long while since my females have been molting in unison, because the growth rates in between each specimen was variable, so some of these have been growing a little bit faster than others, but to see them all growing at about the same pace is pretty nice. And it is that time again where I'm slowing down on breeding, which pretty much I've already stated before, and during the colder seasons, I focus more on trying to grow my tarantulas and the slings I produce, so that way I can get ready for spring once it comes back around, and then I can slowly get back into breeding. And now let us jump into the next tarantula species that has grown quite a bit. So, this is my Pterinochilus murinus Tete. So this is actually an OBT from a different locality. So this is the Tete locale, and these are more of a brownish color. So a very long while back on this channel, I made a video about my pickups at a local expo show, and I've introduced that I picked up 4 of these OBT Tete, and now that these are all juveniles at about 2 inches, 3 of them are male and 1 of them are female, and the one you're seeing here is actually the only female I've gotten. But I am truly happy about my odds because man, when it comes to breeding groups, I prefer more males than females, and I know a lot of people want to have more females than males, but I prefer the males over the females. It's just that a lot of people don't understand how much potential and how much control you have just by having a male. It's really just a sad case of males being underappreciated and totally underutilized. So for me, if I have more males, it's honestly a huge plus, especially when it comes to species I want to breed. So I'm not really complaining here. But let us not get sidetracked and let us jump right back into this video. This right here is my OBT, my Pterinochilus murinus Mikumi, and this is another locality of OBT, and this one here is a bit more of a brownish gray color I guess, and this is actually my favorite locality of OBT. So I'm happy to get a pair of these. Now only 2 of these were offered as slings and I bought them both. And one of these is a male, and the other one was a female, and the one you're seeing here is a female. So I'm glad that I got a pair at least. Now I'm just hoping that I can raise these up and actually produce them. Now I don't know exactly how long it'll take for these to mature out. Maybe in the next year or 2 they should be ready to go, but then again we just kind of had to wait and see. So let us hope for the best for this future breeding project. So on the topic of breeding projects, let me show you one of my future breeding projects. And this right here is one of my Poecilotheria ornatas, and this guy here is a penultimate, so he's pretty much almost 1 molt away from being a mature male. And honestly, I really want to show you this guy because he has a bit of interesting colors on him. And I know mature male Poecilotherias tend to look a bit brownish and rugged in color, but this penultimate here has a really nice color scheme on him, especially on his front legs on the femurs. So if you look at him from an angle, he has like a pinkish purplish color, and I really like that. So I just really want to show you guys my Poecilotheria ornatas, and I do have a lot of these males. So in the future, all of these males will go out on breeding loans. So if you have a mature female Poecilotheria ornata, by all means, please feel free to contact me. A lot of these males I have are penultimate, so they should be ready to go in the future. But I'm quite confident that this guy's colors will fade out in his next molt once he's matured out. But anyhow though, let us continue on with something that isn't tarantulas. So you may have read it in the title, if you made it this far, about centipedes, and this is one of my centipedes that I've gotten for free a very long time ago. So, this is my Scolopendra longipes, also known as the Florida Keys giant centipede. And this is a pretty interesting story. So a few years ago, I've gotten this guy for free, when he was only about 1.5 to 2 inches in length. So he was a very small peedling, and this species maxes out at around 5 to 6 inches in length. He was pretty much still small when I got him, and I've never seen him out, which is honestly kind of surprising. I've only seen him out about 4, 5, 7-ish times, So my only way to feed this guy was to legit just throw in some feeders, and then the next day it was just gone, which tells me that he ate. Now if they were still running around, it tells me that he wasn't hungry and probably in pre-molt. But now that this specimen is out now, it is fully grown, and I do have to rehouse this in the future, so I probably will do that off camera, but this centipede here will get a rehouse. And in my opinion, this is probably the most beginner-friendly giant centipede you can get. Although it does have venom, it is on the lower end of the spectrum, and I would prefer these over the Vietnamese centipedes that are commonly sold when it comes to myriapods, but that's just my personal take. And now let us jump into the next centipede here. So this centipede here is actually a Vietnamese centipede, orange color form, or orange leg as what is known. And this is pretty much another locality or another color form of Vietnamese centipedes. And it's pretty interesting because this one doesn't come around too often. So most Vietnamese centipedes have yellow legs, but this one here has orange legs. Some have red, and others may have different colors, but this one here is the orange leg one. So the story is pretty interesting. So one of the vendors I actually work with when it comes to selling tarantulas too, had to import a wild-caught Vietnamese centipedes. And this one was actually one of the ones that was being sold. But the problem was that this one that was being sold was already a very large adult. And pretty much it wasn't doing too well because it was already pretty much reaching that age of being old, if you get what I'm saying. So it was essentially not seen as being profitable to the seller's eye or to the vendor's eye that I work with. So they just gave it to me for free. And then from there on, I've pretty much kept it, have to assist feed it most of the times. And it's still alive and thriving, which I'm surprised because I really didn't think it will last that long, but it's still doing very well. It doesn't eat too often, but when it does eat, it does eat. But in general though, I don't usually take in centipedes, but sometimes I just get them for free. And sometimes I get discounts, which I just can't pass up. But for the most part, I really just stick with having spiders, so tarantulas, true spiders, etc. And not necessarily focus on myriapods, but once in a blue moon, this type of stuff happens, and you just can't say no. So essentially all the centipedes that you're seeing in this video are centipedes I've gotten for free from vendors I've worked with, and honestly, it's always been a great ride to get free stuff. And I just want to make this very clear, I do not ask for anything. If you're wondering how I got these free, I did not ask for them. They were just pretty much given to me. And this is something that you'll build over time as you establish yourself as a tarantula breeder and make more of those connections and pretty much, work as partners, work with other tarantula breeders over time. You'll build that bond and trust. And so stuff like this will become more frequent as you pretty much, build that connection. And with that, let's round it off here. So without further ado, I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. I upload every single Tuesday and Friday. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around. And also support me on my IG and on Patreon. And with that, stay lax, and Laxow out from the Kumo Sensei.